Okay, so, right guys, I actually want to draw a Venn diagram, right? So since we are working with three types of food here, we have hamburger, chips, and hot and I think hot dog. So we're gonna have to use, let's say on your page what we use for each thing. I would say probably H for hamburgers and then C for chips, but then what are we gonna do for hot dogs? We're gonna do H to be ready. Right? We can do an H for hamburgers, C for chips, and then HD for hot dogs. All right, so I'm just gonna write that H is hamburgers. C is going to be chips, and then HD for hot dogs. Right, guys, now we're going to have to just find something to draw a circle with. Just have it come like perfect, like a perfect thing. And we're going to have to draw 3 circles that overlap. And it's a good idea to make them overlap like quite a bit so that you have some space to write there as well. Often in tests or exams, we actually give you the Venn diagram already drawn and you can just fill in. But of course, you need to know how to do it without that. What you're going to do is you're going to write H next to the one and C next to the other one and then HD. Doesn't matter which circle you put where, right? You can actually decide unless they've given it to you. But just for now, hello. Okay, but then you made it. I'm glad. Thank you. So we're doing that first. Venn diagram example. All right. Once you've done your circles, you do still have to draw like a box around it. And the box we need to label that as X for sample space. And then once you guys are ready, we can start filling in. And guys, with these Venn diagrams, what I want you to write down somewhere, maybe at the top or just like on the side somewhere. We always have to start from the inside out. Right? So the very first thing that we're going to have to fill in is the section where all three of them intersect. Right? So that is important. When you're filling Venn diagrams in, you have to work from the inside out. Inside out, yeah. Therefore, fill in, I'm going to say here, main intersection first. So by main intersection, I mean with all three of them, right? With all three of them overlap. So this section here, that is what I'm saying. And I'm going to have to fill in that main intersection even if they don't give it to us. Right? If they don't tell us how many people like hot dogs and chips and hamburgers. We're going to make that thing. All right, so we need to now go through our information and we need to see, did they actually tell us how many people like all three? So let's see that hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, but not hamburgers and hot dogs, chips and hamburgers, chips and hot dogs. There we go. Two like hot dogs, hamburgers, and chips. Okay, so there they've given us the main messages. You're gonna have to fill that in first. Right, always, guys. Okay, once you fill that two in there, I want you to tick it off, please. So that you know you can put down that fold in that number. Okay, now we're gonna have to look at what else we can fill in. Now, guys, we've done the and for all three. Now we're gonna look for the and of two of them. Okay, so step one is and for all three. Step two is and for two. So we're all gonna write this down. Let's see here. They, oh, that's it. 7 like chips and hamburgers. Chips and hamburgers. 7. So guys, the chips and hamburger section is this section. Do you agree with that? That is where chips and hamburgers intersect. How many people like both chips and hamburgers? They told us 7. As that means that this whole section must be 7. There are already 2 people in there. So I have to put a 5. Okay, you can't put a 7 there. You have to put a 5. Right, so I actually need to just put it on. If you put a 7 there, how many people do I then have in chips and hamburgers? 9. Right, because we would have a 7 and a 2. So these two values together must give you 7. Then we can check that out. Okay. Let's look for another one. They're given us 2. 30 like chips and hot dogs. So chips and hot dogs, right? That's that section. 13. There are already 2 people in there, guys. So what must I put there? 11. So let's take that off. Did they tell us how many of them like hot dogs and hamburgers? So now what we're gonna have to do, guys, because they haven't given us this, we're just going through all the stuff that they told us. We're probably gonna have to make that X. Okay, we can do now. I just want to look at this information there. 8 like chips, but not hamburgers and hot dogs. So is that gonna be chips, but not hamburgers and hot dogs? That's the same as chips only. Okay, do you agree with that? So just add that next to it. So this you could read as 8 of them like chips only. So I'm gonna have to put that over there. Okay, so our chip circle is actually called incomplete. Alright, before we start putting in an X, we want to kind of try and avoid that. So we do want to read through everything and see if we can pull other values in before we make an X. But we're thinking we might have to make that equal to X, right? Because they didn't tell us how many of them like hamburgers and hot dogs. But guys, what are they also telling us? All learners like either hot dogs, hamburgers, or chips. What does that mean? There's nothing on the outside, hey? So if you want to, you can put a 0 on the outside, or you can just leave the blank on the outside there, but we fill that in. All right, so they haven't given us any other information that can help us define that. What they did tell us, guys, is that 12 like hamburgers and 16 like hot dogs. Now this means that the whole hamburger circle, sorry, must add up to 12. Right? Because 12 of them said, okay, we like hamburgers, so they're somewhere in these 4, all right? So what we're going to have to do, unfortunately, we're going to have to take that one in. Because they didn't tell us how many like hamburgers and hot dogs. Right. So we have to fill in all the and then we're going to start filling out the outer part. Okay, now guys, we're going to use this one. The fact that 12 like hamburgers so that means that our H circle must be equal to 12. We're going to have to find an expression for hamburgers only. So I'm saying expression because there's an X. Right, so I'm going to have to relate with an X, nothing. So to find that, are we all okay with this section being hamburgers only? Right, that's how we would describe it. That section there doesn't overlap with anything else. So these people only like hamburgers. So to do that calculation, we're going to have to say the total for the whole hamburger circle is 12. And now we're going to have to minus the one that we already have in that circle. That will give us what it is. Right, so we have a 5, we have a 2, and then we have an X. Yes. Right, so that's going to leave us with 5 minus X. And now that we're going to have to put in our circle. 5 minus X. We're going to have to solve for X later on. Now we're going to have to do the same thing with our hot dog circle, guys, because again we have an X in one of the sections of that circle. Right, so what did they tell us about hot dogs? 16 like hot dogs. Right, so because of that piece of information, 16 like hot dogs. That means that the hot dog circle has to be equal to 16. All of those 4 sections of that circle must add up to 16. So if we want to get hot dogs only, right, that's what this section is here. We're going to say the total, which is 16, minus X minus 2 minus 11. Okay, now 16 minus 2 is 14, minus 11 is 3, right? So we're going to be left with 3 minus X for that section. Now I need to solve for X somehow, guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the total of all the people. How many people did they ask? What did they say here? 32 learners, hey? So that is going to be our total. So you can now decide, are you going to write that 32 on the outside if you have space? Sorry, I should have said space. Or are you going to write it like on the inside? But guys, if you do write it on the inside, make a circle around it, please. Because otherwise it's going to look like there are 32 people that doesn't like in their room. Okay. Just be careful of that. That's why I prefer to do it on the outside. Now guys, all of these must add up to 32. Right? Do we agree with that? Because they are 32 people. So all of these numbers, including these 3 expressions with x's in them, when I add them all together, should be equal to 32. And that's how we're going to solve it. Alright, so you first fill in your Venn diagram with x's, probably. Then you add everything together equal to 32 and then solve. Alright, so I'm going to write that here at the bottom. To solve for x, add all values in the Venn diagram and make that equal to 50. And this 32, because obviously it's not always going to be 32, is the total number of people. All right, so we're going to do that now, guys. We're going to say, I'm going to go from the top all the way through, basically. 5 minus x plus 5 plus 8. You can do this in any order, but I find it quite useful to do almost like line by line, if that makes sense, because they all kind of relate to each other. Then plus x plus 2 plus 11 plus the last one, 3 minus x. And guys, if there was actually a number outside here, so if there was like a 2 or something, you would have to add that on that. Okay, so I'm going to write here plus 0, which seems silly. You don't have to. But just as a reminder, that we actually added everything, not just the circles, but everything in the whole box. Right, together. Together 32. Now this is an equation with lots of numbers, but it's actually quite an easy equation to solve. If we're looking at our x's, some of them do cancel out, right? There we have a minus x plus x. That's 0. Okay, I'm left with 1 negative x. All the numbers I'm going to take to the other side of minus, but minus all of them from 32. Okay, so here on this side, you're left with negative x equal to, so we're going to do 32 minus that first 5, right? Then minus the second 5, because all the numbers are positive here, guys. So if I move them across, they're going to become negative. Okay, so I'm minus 5 minus 8, minus 2, minus 11, minus 3. I'm getting negative 2. And what is x? It is not getting a negative number there on the, so you have a negative x here. If you got like a positive number there, then you've done something wrong, right? Because x can't be negative. X is number of people. Okay. So if your final answer here is a negative number, then something went wrong. It can be 0. That is possible. But x can be 0. But it can't be negative. All right, now that we have x, guys, we're going to have to go back to our Venn diagram, and the 3 things that we have written in terms of x, we're now going to actually have to fill in those values, right? Because we now know that x is 3. So if we go back up to the Venn diagram, what was x? This was x, right? So now, don't scratch it out, just kind of next to it or above it or something, just fill in a 2. Right, the marker still has to see that x there. So don't like erase it and replace it with a 2. This is almost like showing your working. Okay, so put a 2 there. And now, guys, if x is 2, what is 5 minus x? 5 minus 2 is 3. And x is 2, so 3 minus 2 is going to be 1. Okay. I want us quickly to write down 6, and then we're going to practice the second example. So we're not going to answer any probability questions, focus on actually filling it in. We are going to, yeah, get to that still. All right, so the steps that you have to follow. So step 1 is going to be to fill in the value. I'm going to call them A, B, and C, right? The 3 things where A, B, and C overlap. So that is the middle section. Okay, important. Sorry. If this value is not given, in the example that we just did, it was given, they told us it was 2, but if it is not given, make that equal to x. Something has to be in that middle part before you can start filling anything else. So you have to always start with that middle part. Unless they've given you the value that's like on the outside of that, you can fill in, or if they've given you the only part, the part that goes in. Okay, second step is going to be to fill in the values where 2 of the 3 overlap. Okay, important, remember to subtract the first value. I'll move back down now, but what I meant by that, guys, is like when we called it as 2, right? Then they said 157. So we didn't call it a 7, we called it a 7 minus 2. Okay, that's what I mean by that. So for this section, we can't just call in the number that they've given you. You have to take the number that they've given you, 7, and you must subtract the first value that you called it. Okay, that's what also true. That's what I mean by it. That's the first value. Okay, then for number 3, if the totals of each event, so A, B, and C, they technically 4 events, right? But basically just each thing in the is the totals of each event are given. So if the totals are given, then calculate A only, B only, and C only. So those are like the outer parts of each circle. By subtracting all of the values already in the circle from the total. And so that's like where we said, okay, I can't remember now, it was hot dog, I think was 16. So we said 16 minus this, minus this, minus this, and that's what we put in the hot dog. Okay, so guys, to do, if you have a circle, right, in these Venn diagrams with 3 of them overlap, each circle consists of 4 sections always. So when you have 3 of the 4, you will be able to find the 4th by minusing all of it. As you can see, but this is the kind of thing that I said last year, when we did the hamburgers only calculation and the hot dogs only calculation. Right, we took the total and we minus the three parts that were already there to get the hamburgers only. I think step 3 is the third. Step 4, as step 4 can kind of come before some of these steps. You'll see now when we do an example. But obviously, when you've done this, you also just need to check if they've given you any other information. So in the other information, so that's like, for example, where they said none of the learners or all of the learners like either hamburgers, hot dogs, or chips. So we put a 0 on the output. That kind of thing. Right, so fill in any other information given. Step 5, if there are any X's in your Venn diagram, there might not be, right? Sometimes they'll give you all the information and you don't need to use an X. But if there is an X in the Venn diagram, solve for X. I think we wrote the step, we wrote the method up here, hey? To solve for X, add all values in the Venn diagram and make that total. So that is just going to say solve for X as explained above. Is that fine? I don't want to rewrite the same thing. Solve for X as explained above. You can maybe make an arrow to where we wrote that. Or you can use a little star or something, but we did write that down. And then last step, if you have to solve for X, then you must do what we did, go back to your Venn diagram and then pull the actual value. Okay, so I'm going to say go back to Venn diagram and solve the actual solve the actual. All right, we're going to do that second example now. We're going to try and follow the steps as far as possible. But guys, sometimes if they've given you different information, then you might have to adjust the steps slightly. But what I suggest is when you get your question, actually read through all the information that they've given before you start filling stuff in. So we're going to do that now for the next one. So I want you guys to, if you have to still stick it in, we're going to do work example 2 now. I'm just All right, guys, let's take a look. I want us in our list to actually number what do you think we're going to pull these things in. All right, so the first thing that we need to pull in, remember, is the and for all three. So let's quickly read through what they've given us. Firstly, actually, we can fill this in that they've told us that 50 learners were asked. So that's going to be the total of the whole Venn diagram. All right. If you want to, guys, just so that we are reminded of this, the like notation N of S, right? Because they can ask us that. They can ask you for N of S, that is the number of people in the sample space. All right, so that's always the total number of people that were asked or that were part of the study, whatever. So that would be 15. Okay, if you're reading through the information, did they tell us how many people broke all three? Okay. Oh. They actually didn't, okay? So our first step one, we're gonna have to make that equal to X. Okay, the first thing that we have to pull in is always the and for all three. They didn't tell us what that was, so we're gonna have to make that X. Okay, you guys going first. Confusing. Going with diagrams with you, sorry. Don't like that. So much. Okay, now we're ready to go. Alright, guys, thank you. First thing, we're gonna make that first bit X, right? Second one, the second information that we would have to pull in is when they're telling us how many people broke two of the three. Okay, so that's just one, that's one, that's one. Here they say 9 had broken an arm and a leg. So we're going to fill in that value as part of our second step. 5 had broken an arm and their nose. That's also going to be a part of our second step. And then 6 had broken their nose and the leg. So that's going to be a part of our second. Right. So basically these three values are what we list them in step 2. Fill in with 2 of the 3 values. Okay. Now that bottom one we can pull in at any time, right? Because we're just saying pin has not broken any of these, so that's going to be outside of the circles. So you can pull this in at any time. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the values in the circle, so you can pull that in right at the start, you can pull it in at the end, or you can it doesn't matter. Now guys, these 3 values that they've given us up here, do we agree that these are the totals for the 3 circles? They're saying 21 had broken a leg. So all of the values in the leg circle will have to add up to 21. 28 had broken an arm. So all 3 of the values in the arm circle must add up to 28. And 8 had broken their noses. So guys, these are the totals. And I think that was step 2 that we wrote down, right? We're going to use those totals to calculate the leg only, arm only, and nose only. Okay, so this is going to allow us, these totals are going to allow us to do step 3. And then once we fill everything in, we're going to do okay, so we kind of said that this was step 4, right? Fill in any other information, but like I said, that can kind of be done at any time. Then let me just double check here. What was it? Step 5 was, if there is an x in the Venn diagram, solve for x as explained above. We said that we're going to have to introduce x, right? Because they didn't give us that inner value, the one that all three of them overlap. So guys, we're going to have to use this total of 50 in order to do step 5. Right. You guys have one up here. I haven't drawn my Venn diagram. Okay. That. All right, what do we have here? We have leg, arm, and nose. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so you're gonna have to have your wits about you now. Okay, I think also that's probably why if we give you a Venn diagram in the exam, we'll probably give you the boxes to fill in so that after the markers don't have to check them, right? So it will look. Okay, so now the first thing that we said we have to fill in was x. Fill in your x. Next up, we're going to have to do these 3 values in step 2. But now that's going to be a little bit more complicated. Let's just take a look at it saying 9 have broken an arm and a leg. So arm and leg, those 2 values will add up to 9. Can I put a 9 there? Yeah, because then it's going to be 9 plus x. Hey, 9 minus x. Good, well done. Those 2 values together must add up to 9. Next up, 5 had broken an arm and their nose. Arm and nose. So that section must equal 5. So because that's x, this is going to have to be 5 minus x. Okay, last one for the and section. 6 had broken their nose and the leg. Okay, so just check nose and leg. That section there where those 2 overlap. Those 2 values must add up to 6. So that is x, so this is going to have to be 6 minus x. Okay, step 2 is done. We can actually already like tick these all. So we already filled in our x, and now we filled in row 3. Step 3, we now going to use the totals that they gave us to calculate leg only, arm only, and nose only. But it's going to be complicated now, guys, because all of these things have x's in them. Okay, so we're going to be careful now. What did they say? What's the total for leg? 21. So next to your Venn diagram, guys, I would like you please to write the working for leg only, which is this section, right? The part of the leg circle that doesn't overlap with anything. We're going to take the total, which was 21, and we're going to minus the 3 sections of that circle that we have already filled in. Now we must be careful because if we're minusing a 9 minus x, right? We must put it in brackets. Then we also have to minus that x, which is just 1x, so we're going to put brackets around it. And then the third section of that circle that's already filled in is 6 minus x. Again, it's multiple terms, so I have to put brackets around them. And then we can work them out. So now what we want to do is we need to multiply those brackets out, right? There's a minus in front of the first bracket, so negative 9 plus x. Here we have a minus x. And this negative will go in the bracket again, so negative 6 plus x. Now you should see that the first plus x and that minus x cancel each other out, right? So x minus x is 0. We're left with a plus x, so we're going to have a plus x there. What's 21 minus 9? 12, okay? Minus 6, 6. So this is going to give us 6 and then plus x. So that is now what's going to go in this leg only set. I want you please on your own to calculate arm only and nose only. So for arm, the total was 28. We're going to do 28 minus everything else in the arm circle, and for nose it was 8. Let's see if you can do the calculations on your own. All right, let's take a look. So I got 14 plus x for arm only. Yeah, and then for nose only I got negative 3 plus x. You can also write it as x minus 3 if you want, but negative 3 plus x is also fine. So if you didn't get that right, you can just take a look. What's wrong? All right, that was now step 4, step 5, step 3 actually, sorry, step 3. All right, that was step 3. Now guys, what we also still need to do is step 4, and we haven't actually filled in how many have not broken any of these, so 10. So you can put the 10 anywhere in the block. I usually put it on this side, but that's fine, and wherever, right, anywhere outside of those 3 circles, you can put that 10. And now step 5 is now when we are going to have to plus everything and make it equal to 50. And then use that to solve for it. All right, so now I'm going to write here. So, for x So now again, you need to be quite systematic. You need to make sure that you are writing everything down. We're going to have to do 6 plus x, 9 minus x, 14 plus x. We need to add all of these together. Okay, so bring it here. So I can still see plus 9 minus x plus 14 plus x. Right, so we're going to put 3. Now I'm going to do the next 3. Right, so let's add those as well. 6 minus x plus x plus 5 minus x. And then the last one. Now here, if you're going to say plus minus 3, it will actually be minus 3, right? So minus 3 plus x. And then the last one is plus 10. And that must equal 50. That's a very long equation there. Just double check, guys, before you actually calculate x that you have written everything down. Okay. Luckily, the x's are going to cancel out, most of them. So we're going to have a plus x and a minus x that cancel out. Then we have another plus x minus x. And then another plus x minus x. And then we're left with that last x. Okay, so in our equation, we're going to say x is equal to. All the other x's are cancelled out. That's the only one that's left. Now, guys, we're going to have to put 50 in the calculator. And then move all the numbers across, right? So this positive 6 is going to become a minus 6. That plus 9 becomes minus 9. That plus 14 becomes minus 14. That's another minus 6. And minus 5. And then just be careful, this negative 3 is going to become a plus 3. And then that plus 10 must again become a minus 10. Alright, so we can just type that into the calculator, guys, and I'm getting 3. Right, once you have your value for x, you're going to have to go back to the Venn diagram, pull everything in, right? So if x is 3, guys, now you can maybe take a different kind of pen or paper or whatever. Maybe you should do in the exam, if you're getting something like this, maybe do the stuff in terms of x in pencil. Right, and then go in actual values afterwards. But, you know, you can also use pen for both, it's fine. I just don't want you guys to get confused. Right, so that one is x, which we now know is 3. What's 9 minus 3? 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So I'm actually working those values out now by using 3 for x everywhere. 14 plus 3 is 17. Yeah, for leg only we have 6 plus 3, that's 9. Now what's negative 3 plus 3? 0. Please do fill in 0. Okay, don't leave it blank. If you leave it blank, it's going to look like you didn't know the answer. Okay, the only place where you are allowed to leave it blank is if it's on the outside. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you one to practice. You have to practice it on your own. So in the textbook, it is exercise 2. Which starts on page 261. And I would like you to do number 4.1. Guys, we haven't actually done like calculating probabilities from this, right? We did it yesterday with the Venn diagram was given, but I just want us to actually draw this Venn diagram and then tomorrow we'll do of actually doing calculations from. So this is very similar to the one that we've just done, guys. They've given you 3 subjects and they haven't given you the value in the middle. So you're going to have to make that x. Okay, so it's going to do the same as this example. Alright. Thank you, guys. Hope you have a good second last day. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Hope like that.